Good morning, everyone. We are starting this morning with the South Annex, which is position number 8, the state versus Shanika Trice, 22 SC 180889. Hold on a second. All right. Ms. Trice is on for plea and arraignment this morning. She's represented by Kenya Bryant, who is present as well via video. And the state is represented by Quentin Lewis, and he's present via video as well. Ms. Bryant, what plea is your client entering this morning?
Your Honor, we were just informed this morning that Ms. Trice belonged to actually, we don't have any official appointment. I did speak to her and I did qualify her this morning.
Okay.
And I am hoping to be able to resolve this matter, if not have the state permit me to address bond for Ms. Trice. If we could come back to her after Mr. Lewis and I have an opportunity to communicate as to what we could do with her case this morning.
Okay, so South Annex, just hold for a moment, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to 1 North, Mr. Burdett. Hold on a moment. He's represented by Ms. Mormon, who's here. Let me unmute him this morning. All right, this is the state versus Royland Burdett, 20 SC 175-739, 14 SC 129053, and 17 SC 150656. Mr. Burdett is on for probation revocation on these 3 matters this morning. State's represented by Mr. Lewis on this case. Ms. Mormon and Mr. Lewis, have you all had a chance to discuss the resolution?
Yes, Your Honor, we have.
All right. And what have y'all decided?
We agreed to 90 days, well, admit to the violations, 90 days credit for time served.
And Ms. Counsel, can you tell me on each case how much time is left?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
On the 20 SC case, there are 2 years, 6 months, and 23 days remaining. On the 14 SC, there's 1 year and 11 months remaining. And on the 17 SC, there's 6 years, 10 months, and 1 day remaining.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lewis, this is what y'all agreed to?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying that all the other conditions of probation that remain, it'll just be continued with those as well.
Okay. So Mr. Burdett, is your desire that you're going to stipulate or agree that you've violated probation, and then I'm going to revoke 90 days and reinstate the balance, which means you go back on probation on these 3 cases. Is that what you want to do today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I find that Mr. Burdett has knowingly and intelligently stipulated to a revocation of his probation. I hereby find that he has willfully and intentionally violated the terms and conditions of probation. I hereby revoke 90 days and reinstate the balance. Mr. Burdett, when you get released, you'll need to report to your probation officer within 48 hours. You know where to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He'll get credit back to his arrest date on his probations as well. Anything further, Ms. Mormon?
Your Honor, I just want to state that he was being supervised by Clayton County, but because his case is out of Fulton, when you get out, report to Fulton. They have to send you back to Clayton County. Okay, just so there's no issue of where to report when you get out.
Or
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, then you are free to go. Mr. Burdette, you can exit the room, sir.
Mhm.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. I am moving to 6 North. Mr. Pack. Mr. Pack, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is the state versus Terrell Pack, 22 SC 182248. Mr. Pack is here via video. He's represented by Ms. Bryant, who is here via video as well. The state's represented by Ms. Kelsey Jones Connor, who is present as well. We're on for plea and arraignment today. Ms. Bryant, what plea is your client entering?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, and may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jones Connor, may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Pack, may I enter your not guilty and sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I will enter a scheduling order that I set out the deadlines for discovery, and we'll get Mr. Pack on a case management calendar. All right, Mr. Pack, you're free to leave the booth, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to position 5, Mr. Powell, and 4 North. Mr. Powell, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is the state versus Willie Powell, 22 SC 182187. All parties are here via video. Mr. Powell, his attorney, Ms. Bryant, ADA, Ms. Hiles, and we're on for plea and arraignment today. Mr. Powell's bond hearing is scheduled for June 8th. Ms. Bryant, what plea is your client entering today?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, and may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hiles, may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Powell, may I enter your not guilty and sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll enter a scheduling order that I set out the deadlines for discovery, and we'll get Mr. Powell back for his bond hearing on the 8th, and we'll get him on a case management calendar. Right. All right, anything further on Mr. Powell?
Nothing for defense, Judge.
Okay.
Nothing for the state.
All right, Mr. Powell, you may leave the booth. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
You too. All right, I'm going to Mr. Holt, 4 South. All right, Mr. Holt, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is the state versus Tyree Holt, 22 SC 181357. All parties are here via video. Mr. Holt, his attorney, Ms. Bryant, and Assistant District Attorney Lewis. We're on for case management today to find out the status of discovery. Mr. Lewis, let me begin with you, sir.
Back on now. All right, discovery has been provided. Right now, we're in the process of seeing if Mr. Holt will qualify for a drug court. But I haven't gotten an answer back on that yet, so we're just kind of holding.
You all sent a official referral in?
Oh, well, I didn't do an official referral. I emailed Ms. Collier and I wasn't able to hear back from her, so I need to follow up on that.
Okay.
We're working toward that resolution now.
And Your Honor, we actually did submit something formally, and I was informing Mr. Lewis that the assessment for behavioral health court, they determined that drug court was more appropriate for him. So we've taken care of the paperwork. It's just a matter of getting the approval. And we're hoping that the state will get a good referral back from Reba Caldwell.
Okay.
Because we're looking for diversion.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, if that doesn't work out, motions are not due until June 30th. Hopefully we'll have a answer by then. We should. If any motions are filed, Mr. Holt will go on a motions calendar and then to final plea. Anything further on him today?
Not today, Your Honor. However, if we get approval for drug court, are we able to get him on an earlier calendar?
Yes, ma'am. As soon as y'all get the approval, just let Ms. Drew know. We'll get him scheduled.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Holt, you're free to leave the booth, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Courtroom 3, you can turn on your microphone. This is the state versus Donald Wiggins, 22 SC 182245. All parties are here via video. We're on today for a plea and arraignment and a bond hearing. Mr. Wiggins is represented by Ms. Bryant. The state's represented by Mr. Hiles. As to plea and arraignment first.
Your Honor. Sorry, this is actually going to be Mr. Lewis's case. It's I know it's ag assault, family violence, but it's between a father and a son. So
Okay,
it would be Mr. Lewis.
got it. All right, as far as plea and arraignment goes, Ms. Bryant, what plea is your client entering today?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, and may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes.
And Mr. Lewis, may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, and Mr. Wiggins, may I enter your not guilty and sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I will enter a scheduling order that'll set out the deadlines for discovery, and we'll get Mr. Wiggins on a case management calendar. As to bond, Ms. Bryant, you may proceed.
Your Honor, my client is 51 years old. He is a native of Oakland, California. However, he's been in the Atlanta area since 2015. Your Honor, he has a GED and is a certified carpenter. He worked as a mobile mechanic for the last few years. He has 16 children, and 7 of them live with him. The victim in this case is one of his sons. He also has 3 grandchildren that live with him. Before he got arrested, Your Honor, he applied for SSI and is waiting on confirmation from that. And he has some behavioral health diagnosis. Judge, in this particular case, we believe that it should be resolved. We have a couple of eyewitnesses that can attest to a different set of facts that have been presented to the state. So we would ask the court to consider a reasonable bond. I don't have his GCIC in front of me, but I do believe, based on my conversation with Mr. Wiggins, that his last felony conviction may have been 30 years ago. So we would ask the court to consider a UJR or either a substantial reduction in his bond amount. I believe he's been in custody for 282 or a little bit more than that, 282 days. And like I said, there's some dispute as to what actually happened that night. It does appear also, Your Honor, that he has been indicted on a total of 4 charges, but he's only has a bond for 2 of those charges. So he would need a bond set for the terroristic threats and the possession of firearm during the commission of a felony.
Okay. May I hear his history, please? Ms. Harvey from pretrial, may I start with you?
This is the first arrest out of Georgia, 23 cycles out of the state of California. It appears that the last felony conviction was in 1990 for transporting and selling narcotics. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Counsel, do you have anything to add?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Lewis, I'll hear from you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Give me 1 second. Let's see what the. All right, Your Honor, I'm just kind of looking at the alleged facts of the case. It seems to be on video that a handgun was pointed at the defendant's son. With that in mind, we believe the current bond is appropriate. We ask that it be maintained in its current state. If Your Honor is inclined to grant a bond, then we ask for no contact with the victim.
Is the alleged victim an adult or a juvenile?
Pull that right back up. It's going to be an adult, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Bryant, does your client live at the same location as Keyshawn Wiggins?
They do not, Your Honor.
Okay. So your client's address at bookend is the same address as listed for the victim.
That's what's in the police report, Your Honor, but I'm not sure if they.
I've spoken to my client as well as his wife, and they both contend that the victim does not live there.
Okay. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, check one thing. Okay, bond will be set as, the bond he has, is this $13,000 bond on the two counts that are already on his booking screen. So I'm going to add bonds on the other two, but those two amounts remain the same. So the ag assault will remain at $8,000. The terroristic threats will be an unsecured judicial hold through pretrial services under level 1 supervision. Possession of firearm by convicted felon will be $2,000, and the possession of firearm during the commission of a felony will be $5,000. So the total bond is a good bond of $20,000. The conditions are no further contact with Keyshawn Wiggins. He cannot possess any weapons or firearms.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I will allow the 3 good bonds to be postable through the sheriff's 10% program. Okay. All right, we are finished with Mr. Wiggins. Thank you. Courtroom 3 is free to go. I'm going to 6 South. South. Okay, 6 South. Is that Mr. Allen? Can you hear me in 6 South?
Mr. Murray.
Oh, Mr. Murray. Okay. Hold on a second. So, Mr. Murray, I put you on today because I saw that Mr. Wright had filed a motion to withdraw from your case as your lawyer because you fired him. So I wanted to know who did you hire to take his place?
My pops is handling that. I don't know who he's going to get right now, so I really can't tell you at this moment.
Okay, so you just sitting there. You don't have a lawyer.
Not at the moment, no, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go.
Have a good day.
You too. Okay, so we are waiting on Cobb. And while we're waiting on Cobb, I will put Ms. Bryant, let you and Mr. Lewis go talk about Ms. Trice.
Your Honor, we've communicated. Is
Okay.
it possible for me to have a breakout with Ms. Trice?
Yes, South Annex, if you bring Ms. Trice back to the screen, I'll put you guys in a room.
Judge, let me call them because I don't believe they're on right now.
Okay, because the booth is on, so. I also need position 7. Ms. Drew, position 7, Mr. Allen, was he supposed to be produced from DeKalb? Because there's nobody physically here.
Yes, he was produced, but he was, and he's in custody, so it shows that he was in intake.
Okay, so he must be over there somewhere.
I just sent a message to Lieutenant Berry.
Okay. All right. Ms. Bryant, you are back. Ms. Trice, what is she elected to do today?
Judge, we're going to ask for a bond, and it looks like the state is agreeing or consenting to a UJR on behalf of Ms. Trice.
All right, Mr. Lewis?
Your Honor, from the GCC, the GCIC that I have, she has 4 prior arrests but no prior convictions. If all that checks out, then we will have no problem going from the UJR bond for this defendant.
Any special conditions?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Not right now.
Ms. Harvey, what history do you show?
That's correct, Your Honor. 5 cycles, does not appear to have any convictions.
All right. You have anything to add, Ms. Counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right. As it relates to her plea and arraignment, Ms. Bryant, what plea is your client entering today?
Not guilty at this time, Judge.
And may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lewis, may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Trice, may I indicate you're not guilty on the indictment and sign your name?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'll enter a scheduling order that'll set out the deadlines for discovery. We'll get Ms. Trice on the case management calendar. Ms. Trice will be released on all counts on an unsecured judicial release. Let me check one other thing to confirm. Ms. Trice, are you still gonna be at 1366 Campbellton Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you'll get your next court date notice in the mail, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anything further on Ms. Trice from the lawyers?
Nothing from defense, Judge.
That's from state.
All right, we're completed with Ms. Trice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank
One more. Judge, I'm sorry, was that pretrial, that UJR?
No,
Okay, okay.
no, okay. Thank you, South Annex, okay. So we're just waiting on Cobb and then Courtroom 3 for position 7. Okay, there's Courtroom 3. You can unmute Mr. Allen for Courtroom 3. Unmute, thank you. This is the state versus Michael Allen, 22 SC 1814885. Mr. Allen is on for plea and arraignment. Ms. Bryan, he is not represented. And so I don't know if you've already talked to him, but he got produced from DeKalb, so I'm thinking maybe not.
I haven't, Your Honor.
Okay, let me give you an opportunity to speak to him.
And Your Honor, I'll be covering for Ms. Patel on this one.
Okay. All right, Ms. Bryant, have you had a chance to speak to Mr. Allen?
Have, Your Honor, and he qualifies for public defense.
All right, what plea is he going to enter today?
Not guilty.
May I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hiles, may I sign your name to the indictment on behalf of Ms. Patel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Allen, may I enter your not guilty and sign your name to the indictment?
Yes.
Okay, I will enter a scheduling order that I set out the deadlines for discovery, and we will get Mr. Allen on a case management calendar. All right, we are done with Mr. Allen today. Thank you.
Your Honor, that concludes my business. May I be excused, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm ready for Cobb, waiting on Cobb. Hold on, let me unmute you. Hold on. Okay, Cobb.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am waiting for Cobb County to bring them down from the floor.
Okay.
And the first one you want to see is Quintarius Lewis.
That's not one of mine. I'm waiting on Anthony Mitchell and William Edwards.
Okay, the reason why I asked because the other person is on for another judge. I can see his name here on the monitor. So those are the two that they're going to the floor to try to get down ASAP.
Okay, thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you. We apologize for this inconvenience.
All right. Be right back.
morning. What y'all got? Y'all from Fulton County? What's your name? Mitchell. Okay, come on, Mr. McDaniel, you sit right there. What's your name? No, your last. Yes, Mitchell. Come on, Mr. McDaniel, sit right there. Your next one, okay? Yes, please. Thank you so much. Okay, y'all just have a seat. You say your name is?
Edwards, William Edwards.
William Edwards, okay. And you, I'd like to get I got you. Sir, come on, sir, come on. I'm going down here.
All right, what's your name, sir?
William Edwards.
All right. This is the state versus William Edwards, 22 SC 180666 and 22 SC 181855. All parties are present via video. We are on for case management to find out the status of discovery. Mr. Lewis, I'll begin with you, sir.
Yeah, so Karen, your turn. Yeah. Your Honor, all discovery has been delivered and offer has been made.
Okay, Ms. Bryant.
That's correct, Your Honor. And we would like to give the offer to Mr. Edwards real quick. He may be taking a negotiated plea this morning.
Okay, hold on just a moment. Ms. Bryan, were you finished talking?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were back. Okay, what is your client elected to do today?
We're taking a negotiated plea on both cases, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Edward, you okay with us taking your plea via video this morning?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and if anytime you need to stop and speak to Ms. Bryan again, just let me know, okay?
I'm fine, Your Honor. I'm fine.
All right, if at some point during your plea, I need to indicate your plea on the indictment and sign your name, may I have your permission to do that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bryant, may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, may I sign your name to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lewis, you may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, please raise your right hand. You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can put your hand down. Please state your true and correct legal name for the court.
William Edwards.
And are you at this time under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No, no, sir.
All right, is there any medication that you typically take that you have not been given today?
No, sir.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, sir.
How old are you and how far have you gone to school?
50 years old and 1 year college, sir.
All right. Do you understand that you're being charged with the following offenses? 1 second as I navigate between screens. An indictment 22 SC 180666. You're being charged with 2 counts of theft by receiving and driving without a valid license. And an indictment ending in, well, do the whole thing on this one, 22 SC 181855. You're being charged with two counts of theft by conversion. You understand those are your charges?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to those charges in both of those indictments. And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorney about all the facts and circumstances in your case?
Yes, I have, sir.
And are you satisfied with her services?
Yes, I'm very much, sir.
Okay. Ms. Bryant, are you waive formal reading of the indictment and any defects if they exist?
So wait.
All right, back to you, Mr. Williams. Has your counsel advised you of the minimum and maximum sentence you can receive for each of these charges?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is a negotiated plea, which means the state is making a recommendation of the following. 3 years to, well, let me break these down by indictment. 1 second. Well, the indictment ending in 1855, the state is recommending 3 years to serve 5 months on count 1 and the same sentence on count 2 to run concurrent. And the indictment ending in 0666, the state is again recommending for count 1, 3 years to serve 5 months. For count 2, the same sentence to run concurrent, and for count 3, 12 months to serve 5 months, balanced probation with credit for time served on each indictment in all counts. You understand that's the recommendation?
Yes, sir.
All right, and it's state's understanding that you have already served at least 5 months.
Yes, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to accept this recommendation and can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those sentences consecutively instead of concurrently?
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you're currently on probation or parole, your probation or parole may be revoked based on you entering this plea today?
Yes, sir.
You understand that if you are placed on any probation of any kind for this case, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special condition of probation without being subject to the revocation for the balance?
Yes, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
You understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, you cannot possess a firearm?
Yes, sir.
And that if you use, possess, receive, or transport a firearm or use one in a crime, you could be guilty of a felony which carries a sentence of 1 to 15 years?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're waiving any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering this plea today?
Yes, sir.
All right, you understand that you're giving up the following rights: the right to a trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to confront witnesses against you, the right to assistance of counsel hired by you or the court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at the trial of your case, the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence, the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence, the right to have the charges against you proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and the right to appeal if convicted of these charges after the trial. You understand that you're waiving all of those rights?
That's a lot, but yes, sir.
Do you need me to repeat any of them?
No, sir.
Okay. Has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter this plea today?
No, sir.
All right. And so to the charges, an indictment ending in 0666, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And to the charges and indictment ending in 1855, how do you plead?
Guilty.
This plea is freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charges against you.
Yes, sir.
You will only have a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction. Specifically, you'll have 4 years from the day for each felony charge and 12 months for the misdemeanor to file what's called a habeas corpus petition, challenging the voluntariness of the plea.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, by way of facts, if we were to move forward with trial today, we believe we'd be able to show that for the indictment ending in 0666, that on December 7th, 2021, in the area of Pryor Street Southwest and Ridge Ave Southwest, which is within Fulton County, they were conducting direct patrol. The APD notified patrol officer there was a stolen vehicle that had just got pinned in the license plate reader in the intersection of Pryor Street and University Ave. The vehicle was described as a 2006 Chevy Equinox with a Georgia tag TAK 5044. The vehicle had been reported stolen, and Mr. Edwards was determined to be the driver of the vehicle. He initially stated that he was just putting water in the vehicle for an unknown person, but he couldn't provide a name or description. He was charged accordingly with that indictment. On the second case, Your Honor, got too many screens up. I lost it. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had some things freeze up on me, but I'm getting to it now.
Okay.
Okay. On April 24th, 2020, at the location of On April 24th, 2020, Officers came in contact with Mr. Edwards in a 2014 Nissan Sentra that had been reported stolen out of DeKalb County Police Department on the same day. He was determined to be the driver. The vehicle was reported stolen by Mr. Jason Hughley. Mr. Hughley stated that he had met Mr. Edwards prior that day and had given him his vehicle to borrow. He also let him use his cell phone and instructed him to return the vehicle that same day. Mr. Williams failed to return the vehicle, and Mr. Hughley reported the vehicle stolen. He was located in Zone 6, Fulton County. That address was 241 Forsyth Street. Your Honor, just as a few extra things, the state has attempted to make contact with victims in both indictments cases. No victim has returned a call. We do believe that if there is restitution, we would ask for 15 days for any victim to provide that. Once those 15 days have passed, restitution will be foregone, and the state has informed each victim in the case via message of that possibility. I believe that's all from the state, Your Honor.
All right. May I hear his history, please, starting with Ms. Harvey?
That reminds me, Your Honor, we are also withdrawing the recidivist notice on this one as well.
Okay.
43 cycles out of the state of Georgia, also arrests out of Connecticut, Maryland, and North Carolina, and 4 arrests out of South Carolina. Felony convictions include a 2011 possession of cocaine, a 2012 possession of cocaine, 2014 possession of cocaine, 2014 theft by conversion, 2017 aggravated assault, and a 2020 criminal attempt to commit a felony. That's out of DeKalb County. He was sentenced March 9th, 2020 to 4 years probation, Your Honor. In addition, we are showing a probation violation hold out of Gwinnett County. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Counsel, you have anything to add?
Yes, Your Honor. Only that he was charged as a first offender in July 2004 out of DeKalb County for forgery. And he has an active warrant out of DeKalb County for the probation violation, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Counsel, since he has active probation, should I give him reporting instructions just to report within 48 hours of release, because he's going to go from here to the holds?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Mr. Edwards, you understand the nature of the charges against you?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or any other substance at this time?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone threatened you in any way or promised you anything to influence you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand about pleading guilty, you give up all of the rights that the Assistant District Attorney just outlined for you?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you willing to give up those rights today in order to enter into this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, this plea could have an impact on your immigration status?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that I am not bound by any promises, recommendations, or reductions, but that I can sentence you as I deem appropriate?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the charges on these 2 indictments?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And are you in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you entering these pleas freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bryant, are you satisfied that your client is competent? He understands what is going on, that the plea is voluntary, and that there's a sufficient factual basis for the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I will hear from you.
Your Honor, we'd ask the court to accept the negotiated plea that we had worked out with the state. My client is the father of 3 sons, ages 10, 9, and 6, and they are currently in the care of his elderly mother. So he was anxious to resolve this matter, and we're glad that we're able to resolve it to a point where he can accept the terms. My client takes full responsibility for his actions in this case, and both of these cases are based on Mr. Edwards having permission from the owners of the cars, but him not returning the cars in a timely fashion. So he understands where he went wrong in this case and is taking full responsibility for that. So we would ask the court to accept the negotiated plea. Thank you, Your Honor. And we have no objection if the court rules that we hold the restitution open for 15 days. We do not have any objection to that.
Hold it over for 15 days. You mean like to have a hearing?
No.
No, Your Honor, just for the victims to return back with the restitution amount, if there is one.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they provide anything, I'll provide the court and then request a hearing, but if not, then we can just forego everything.
Okay. All right. I find that there is a sufficient factual basis for the charges, and I further find that Mr. Edwards' plea of guilty has been entered knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently. I will accept the pleas and sentence as negotiated on 22 SC 180666. Counts 1 and 2 are 3 years to serve 5 months, balance probated. Count 3, 12 months to serve 5 months, balance probated. All counts to run concurrent with credit from December 7th, 2021 to present. And then on 22 SC 181855, on counts 1 and 2, 3 years to serve 5 months, balance probated with credit from April 25th, 2020 to September 10th, 2020, as well as December 7th, 2021 through present. The state will have until June 8th to advise the court if a restitution hearing is necessary. If not, the sentence will proceed as announced. If a restitution hearing is needed, I will schedule one and amend the sentence appropriately at that time. Mr. Edwards, once you are released, you have a couple of holds to take care of, but once you are released, you'll need to report to probation within 48 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're free to
Thank you
leave the
very
booth, sir. Mhm.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bryant. All right, thank you, sir. Am I free to go?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, young man.
All right.
Your bags are full. Is everything going in favor?
All right, so we're just waiting on Mr. Mitchell.
I think that concludes my business. May I be excused?
I presume number one was yours since Mr. Howes left.
I thought for Mr. Allen?
Mr. Anthony Mitchell, position number one on the calendar.
Mitchell.
He
Guess
said
I'm
he
gonna
didn't
have
have
to take
any,
it then.
he said he didn't have any other cases, so.
All right, well, I shall remain.
Let me look at it. I'm trying to see if I see who signed the indictment. It was Seth Brown. Are you able to contact him, Mr. Brown?
I can. Give me 1 second.
Yep, he's on the calendar and got the notice, so I don't know what happened.
I'll follow up with him.
Okay.
All right, Your Honor, I was able to get in contact with him. I'll make the announcement for him.
Okay, let's wait till they get the defendant in there and we'll do it. Okay.
Sure.
Still nobody. That door is not closing.
Which one? The
Right
one
here.
coming in from the
Mhm.
back hallway?
Back hall right here.
It's not latching.
Like I can just push it without having to.
You just keep.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. This is, as far as your paperwork, I'm not doing it. The DORs.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what to do with it.
Okay.
What is, and then we just sign. Put the work in for you.
Thank you.
She called down your office.
Yeah, she did.
It's working. You just have to make sure you shut it off.
Okay. But it should shut automatically. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll make sure I push it. Uh-huh. Yeah. I know.
Sit right there for me, okay? And you just call them and let them know you're ready, okay?
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is the state versus Anthony Mitchell, 22 SC 180322. All parties are here via video. Mr. Mitchell, his attorney, Ms. Bryant is here on behalf of his attorney, Ms. Green, and Mr. Lewis is here today on behalf of Assistant District Attorney Brown. We are on for case management to find out the status of discovery. All right, Mr. Lewis, I'll hear from you.
And I heard from 88 Brown, our discovery is complete and I believe an offer has been made. Other than that, nothing further from the state.
All right, Ms. Bryant.
Your Honor, that's correct. It's our understanding that the discovery is complete as well.
Okay. All right, well, Ms. Green and Mr. Brown have until May 31st if they'd like to file any motions. Any motions are filed, we'll put Mr. Mitchell on a motions calendar, and then the next step for him will be final plea. Final plea will be the last opportunity for any negotiated pleas, any reductions in charges, or any re-indictments of the case. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Mitchell, you are free to go, sir.
Okay.
All right, everyone, that completes our calendar. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.